The native grassland began disappearing. The wildlife habitats became fragmented. Access for forest personnel became difficult. Ecological regeneration showed down significantly through his organization, Namma Vanan. Over 110 plus hectares of forest land have already been restored with a larger vision of reclaiming the regenerating 1,000 plus hectares across forest landscape in the coming years. To chair this session as a moderator and give the concluding remarks with that one, we have with us Professor J. Rajbir Singh, Professor Rajbir Singh, and we are very happy to have you over here. And also, I want to welcome Mrs. Rajbir Singh also. She's also IFS officer. IFS officer. We are very happy to have you, madam. And Sreekara, to say a few words about him. He did his MBA in finance, graduate hailing from deeply rooted coffee planters family, Chikkamagaluru. He has about 1,000 acres of coffee estate, but he wants to do other things important. This is more important for him. But once a week he goes to Chikkamagaluru. In 3.5 hours you can reach. He drives. We have traveled together. And he combines the modern financial acumen with traditional coffee plantation, lowering this environmental fauna and flora. He is the founder of Wealth Management Group and manages over 1,000 crores of assets with values and customer satisfaction and social concern. The group is involved in rural education, women empowerment, healthcare facilities, cancer research activities, sports foundation, working with grassroots level athletes and sports personnel. The group is also involved in renovating all our forts in Karnataka and safeguard our forests, fauna, flora by eliminating the lantana in Bandipur forest. He is also a sports person and passionate about cycling, golfing, mountaineering, traveling, running, visited Manas Sarovara twice, and ardent lover of nature sustainability. More than it, he is a dear friend of mine, and whatever little retirement funds he has, he's managing. I trusted him. He does more trustworthy person in that context. I'm a great pleasure introducing him and over to Sir for you to Rajbir Singh. So taking it over and moderate and concluding remarks, we want to hear from you, Sir. Forest.
Sir, good afternoon, everybody. I thought that after the lecture we will talk, but anyway, I was told that he is a coffee planter, and then he is in wealth management. Very unique combination, I will say. And then the further dimension is that of creating forest, saving forest environment, and protecting our climate as such. Actually, Chikkamagaluru, when the moment we hear Chikkamagaluru, coffee sounds in our mind. And some historical perspective I will tell about coffee. This 17th century, I think it was started in Chikkamagaluru itself, in the country. But forest has got lot of relation with coffee, because in Chikkamagaluru and Coorg district, in the early 30s, cash crop, for the promotion of cash crop, lot of forest land had been diverted for cultivation. So I remember one example I will tell you, that is Tatkola forest. Most of us might have, if those who are reading newspaper, Tatkola forest was one in which Honorable Supreme Court has intervened. That generally what happened, I don't know our current speaker whether he is aware of or not. When some land is being given, it entails more than that land because people, they, for cultivation, the laborers come, they will encroach the forest, and the forest itself is gone. As a result, the whole biodiversity is lost. And when people come from different places, this lantana problem which you are telling, that kind of alien species also creep in with the people. So that's how the Muskali, it was Muskali and Tatkola, two reserve forest. Honorable Supreme Court has intervened. That lot of encroachment has been taken place. Lot of thereafter illegal grants have been made. Having said that, since I was talking to him and he had done some work in Bandipur, some 160 hectare. It's really very good. About forestry, I will like to add one thing. I mean, Causon, and he had a great advisor with him, that it is something which we need to persistently be with that fact. You need to have your passion. Otherwise, 1 year, 2 year, even if you remove lantana, it will come back. So hopefully you must be removing for 3-4 years minimum, and then added by some local grass species, so that it covers the whole area and doesn't allow to any other thing to come, the lantana to come back. So hopefully whatever loss we have done, in the sense by in giving our forest land for coffee in early 30s, we are you are doing the great thing by removing the lantana, and and further fragmentation of the forest. If you are talking about Bandipur, I remember that Bandipur forest, I feel that that is a dead forest. Dead forest means because of lantana, no normal species is coming. So generally forest, a normal forest is that all stages of seedlings, spore crop, mature trees, and the old trees, and all the stages should be equally be present in the forest. But it's not there, like they like the whole forest lacks regeneration. So I'm really proud that you are doing removing lantana, and you have the target of 500 uh, hectare. I wish you all the best in this endeavor, and probably 500, 5,000, it should go on increasing. Lot of people should come together and help your endeavor. So all the best, I think, and I welcome you here. Please come and your lecture. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think firstly, I must thank on behalf of WMG Group for giving us this great opportunity to present our work and also showcase what we are doing. Just to summarize what the respected dignitaries just mentioned, WMG is the core objective of WMG is creating wealth for client or directing them on the right products and asset class that they have to choose, which can actually fetch them great returns over a period of time. So that was our core job. So when we started working on this, we built a business. But eventually, what we also realized is it is not just the core of making money that people are very interested about. They're also focused on building and giving back to the community and society around them. And as we were building multiple businesses, we also realized that, yeah, it's time now that, okay, let's create opportunities for individuals, corporates to come, join hands, and build a platform where it can be done in a more trusted and organized format in contributing to the society, community, and environment around us. So that's where we created something called WMG Foundation. WMG Foundation is about 7 years old now. We started it in 2020 when a group of CEOs and CFOs of Bangalore decided to visit BRT forest. BRT forest is about about 200 kilometers from Bangalore. It's called Bilagiri Ranganath um, forest. And this forest, we made a visit. And when we visited that place, it was post-COVID. That was when the COVID part was just, the fizz was just settling, and people were just started going out, and we visited this place. And at that point of time, what we realized is, yes, forest had actually reclaimed a lot of its previous setbacks, which it had, only because things had got quiet. Vehicle movements had reduced, honking, blah, blah, noises had significantly come down. Everyone wanted to, we could actually feel the difference because tigers were coming close to the main roads, which had gone deep inside the forest. Elephants had started moving out a lot. If you during COVID, have people heard of man-animal conflicts? No, it was all quiet. Just because people were at home, tigers didn't go to their home to, hunt them, right? They didn't do that. They were in their place. Here, people were at their place. But what we also realized is at that point of time, for government, it was more important to focus on healthcare, and probably environment was taken a back step. It had taken significantly couple of steps back. The budget allocations had drastically reduced. So because of this, then the officers who were in these places told that, why don't we mobilize a certain set of corpus which can be helped to fund few things that can be better our way of working at the forest. So at that point of time, a thermal drone, which was available in the market, which is very helpful in identifying forest fire, was not there as a part of their itinerary to be bought by the department. Then we said, okay, let's buy some thermal drones. We also bought a lot of camper jeeps, which had otherwise got old. We started helping the frontline workers who used to otherwise work during fire time and on other occasions, and giving them jackets, uniforms, shoes. So we did something of this sort. About 2.5 years back, when we were doing all this, then actually things had reclaimed a bit. Government funding had significantly increased. They were getting their vehicles, they were getting many other things that was required. Then we start that, okay, when we do a project, it should go directly to the forest. How do we do it? And in previous to initially when we were going, we had traveled inside the forest during multiple seasons, and we also observed that lantana species is one thing which is actually growing aggressively, which is otherwise not required. So then we thought, okay, let's now do something that can really impact. And we took up this initiative called V for Wildlife Initiative under the banner Nammavana. So Nammavana is basically forest and our forest. And under this banner, we reached out to the corporates, and we told that we have taken up this first step of initiative of eradicating lantana in a defined area. Like, for example, approximately today to remove lantana in a place, and like what Sir said, to have it maintained for 3 years, approximate price is around 1 lakh an hectare. One hectare is about 2.7 acres. So that is about 1 lakh. We'll need about 120 laborers to do it. And that has to be done 3 times in a year, even 6 times in a year. So for which I think that was the budgeted price. We went to the corporates, and corporates were really keen to contribute a part of their CSR fund into this initiative. So why Nammavana and why Lantana? When we were going into the forest, we realized a lot of our forest area, unfortunately, has been taken over by this invasive species, which came to us as a decorative plant about 150 years back, late 18th century, when the Britishers bought it to the eastern part of India as a decorative species. And post that, it has taken over a larger part of the land. Why did this happen? This is because this is a species of plant which can grow at a temperature anywhere between 20 degrees to 45 degrees, and at an altitude anywhere between 2,200 to 4,400 feet above sea level. and very comfortable. And when the way it grows as a bush, it doesn't allow any kind of grass or a plant to actually take over it, at least for about 5-7 years, unless the plant growing under it is very aggressive. Once the canopy shade is created, probably this actually subsides, but it takes a lot of time. And any opportunity for it to grow faster, like for example, the species which is creating a canopy shade for it is actually is not able to sprout or get greener immediately after the first rains, then this will take over that. And we have seen in some of the forest, actually the lantana species has grown over a tree and pulling down the tree. Huge wild trees which are 200-300 years old, they've grown over it and they're pulling it. So all these things are happening. And with all this, we have also realized in the last few years, like I was just checking some time back on what is lantana, how it has to work. And today, even a lot of nurseries are selling lantana plants for money. And we are still buying it for as a decorative plants in our house. I think I somewhere felt that the first step that we have to do is educate people to tell that this is not the species that we have to plant anymore, and definitely not pay money for it to be a decorative plant at home. And moreover, what we also realized is about 60% of the forest, like Bandipur, has been taken over by lantana, because of which, obviously, the other species are not able to grow well, and more of herbivorous animals are finding it difficult to graze. One is that population is coming down, or they are going to peripherals where they can move out and graze. Obviously, what is the next thing? The carnivorous animals goes out to hunt them out, and obviously that is creating man-animal conflict. I'm saying this is not the only reason, but this could be the primary reason which is creating man-animal conflicts. Likewise, there are many other issues that are cropping up because of one species called lantana canopy. And I think we all have to come together, create a lot of awareness. It's scientifically, I don't know how it can be done, but we have been checking with a lot of people to understand what is that can be done. I think like what Sir told us, we have signed up with Karnataka Forest Department to remove lantana for 1,000 hectares of land, predominantly Bandipur, Hills and BRT Hills. And for that, we had budgeted about 11 crores of money. This 11 crores of money and about 1,000 hectares of land is, you can't even put a percentage to the size of the forest area that we are sitting on. It is too small. What do? I think we have to come out and do some research on how else we could invent species that can actually take over them. Or probably, I think nature is the best way. Nature can fight it its best way. But until then, what is that we can facilitate? And today, whatever we are doing on removing lantana will never solve the problem. And we are very clear about it. But definitely 1,000 hectares of land will create a decent, sizable land for the wildlife to recede and make it their place, rather than we just complaining that, oh, lantana has taken over and we are not able to move further. This was a small step that we could do, but likewise I think everyone has to put their part, their intelligence to identify how best that this can be done. By doing this, we have 100 problems that can be solved. One is what we think that is our lungs, which is with us, is not with us. It's actually 100 kilometers away from Bangalore, which are these beautiful forests which are there. And today we may complain that, oh, safari not allowed. Oh, we are not allowed to get into the forest, and we are losing the love and affection towards it. But the reality is they are the ones which are actually, able to give us the oxygen that we want. If we don't maintain it and do our bit of contribution towards it, then it is too late, or never late than now, that we are going to lose all this and later we are going to crib about it. So on the whole, I think technically lantana is a species that is very invasive and it will take over things very quickly. It is not edible by most of the herbivorous animals, or none of the herbivorous animals. It spreads fast. every seed that comes out of it is mostly germinating, and we are not able to do anything about it. There are very few birds which actually eat on their flowers and the fruits, and even they, when they go out, we are seeing that, the lantana is getting spread. So because of this is going really fast, and there should be some kind of a revolutionary measures that has to be taken, and these small measures are just creating awareness that, oh, this is a riskier vegetation that things are getting into, but we have to find a way where we can actually get out of them, or find a way where it can be removed. There are small ways, like the way we are removing lantana. There are small ways where people are making elephants. I think there was a big news that there's an elephant made out of lantana, and it is there at the Bangalore International Airport. Likewise, there are many other things that are getting created. From our point of view, if I think the first step that we have to do is probably stop everyone buying lantana as a decorative plant. Second is, if you see a lantana somewhere on the roadside, or somewhere next to your house, the first thing is just destroy them. And next is, then we can look out for other avenues where you can actually bring it down, and try to scale it down and create awareness. Tell 10 different people that, these are the plants that are dangerous for the ecosystem, and we have to get them away from the ecosystem, or reduce as much as possible. If not, now it is a man-animal conflicts, but eventually it might get into many other things. Today, what you are seeing is there is something called a condensed farming, right? So Sir told that there is a large plantation which is basically working to generate coffee or grow coffee, right? Because of labor issues and many other issues, that is getting contented. So people have started growing in a very small area, a larger output. So if you see today, like capsicum, the way it is grown in a small area, it can generate about 2 tons of capsicum in 45 days, in about 2.5 acres of glasshouse that they make. So likewise, every other species, other vegetation, or the requirements that we have will become compressed. So they will be able to grow in a small area. Then what is going to happen? Are we letting the other part of the land to be more fertile, and or it will be taken over by the native species, or you want to let it over to this invasive species which are otherwise available? So I think those are the choice that we need to make at this point of time. I think we are exactly at a U-turn or a V-turn that we should decide and take a call and move ahead. If not, it is going to be too late. Our native species, which when lose their prominence, they will become minority, and once they are minority, I think it is very difficult for us to take over them. There are multiple reasons why lantana has taken over the forest. One is obviously the forest fire. Then the cycle of bamboo, which after the cycles of bamboo for the last 10 years, bamboos are taking its own time to come back, but these lantanas have taken over the land, and that's also not working. There's one last example that I would like to tell you, because I am from this place called Chikkamagaluru, and Chikkamagaluru is a place where almost, I think, 80% of the rivers of Karnataka has given birth. So predominantly from a place called Chandradrona Parvata, which is like a C-shaped mountain, which most of you all have been, and it's a C-shaped mountain. When I see it on Google, I feel it was a crater which is there from quite some time, and now from that crater there's a lot of water that is coming out of it, and that has given birth to now I think not the Bhadra, then Tungabhadra, and the other one is, yeah. So basically 4 rivers which it has given birth to. And when we were just looking at some of the species around this mountain, the grass, which is predominantly from one of these mountains that we were looking at, had an exact V shape like this. And this V shape will, on the tip of it, will attract the dew that is around that area. It will create one drop of water, and that drop of water will slide down through that V into the ground. It was so beautiful, and someone had made a full video of this whole process. And every day during, you might see it is quite misty. I'm sure a lot of people would have visited places like Chikkamagaluru and most of the Western Ghats. And these species of plant is there everywhere in that area. And now, like what Sir told, a lot of people have taken over for doing other activities like building a resort, some coffee, some even tea, and many other. They have removed these plants. But it is so beautiful to see how the tip of this has some kind of a character which will create a water ball by the mist and that drops in water. And it is so much around that area throughout the year. This process of the plant will drain water and it will eventually flow into a river. So now a species like lantana, if it takes over this grass or the species of plant that is there, you can imagine what is going to happen to the surrounding around us. We are going to just get dried up. If you see the rest, I think today Kaveri supplies larger part of water to Bangalore, but the rest of Karnataka is generally water is supplied through rivers which give birth on the Western Ghats. So it is very important that we take a conscious call today and try to bring back the native species. I have seen trees which are like 200, 300 years old because of the way we are cultivating things or because of the changes that has happened have just been falling off. And if I'm sure a lot of people would be traveling during weekends to different places where there was a lot of greenery and a huge amount of trees, and suddenly there is a tree that has fallen off. Why is this happening? That is basically because of the climate change, and we are ignoring the native species. Today, we are not giving importance. Today, we go to a nursery, we may look at a plant which is very beautiful, but sitting there, and we may buy the plant, but we may not be buying a plant which is local to that area. So it is important that we focus on these things and remove as much as species which are not native and then move on to the local species. That can make a dramatic change for our generation to come in. My request is lantana is something that is very small, or we think that it's small now, which is going to take over the whole ecosystem eventually, if not attended to. At least if we can talk to about 50, 100 people in a year, I think we have done our bit of the contribution to get that eradicated. So that's where we are coming from. And in the drive of this, we are closely working with the Karnataka Forest Department. One is to create awareness. The second part is to do our bit of it. It's not that, oh, because WMG Foundation is doing this, whole of Bandipur will be out of Lantana. It's not possible. It's 60, as per the numbers, it is about 240 lakh, 2 lakh 70 acres is the total size of Bandipur. And out of which even 60% of that will be around 160, 1.2 lakh acres covered by Lantana. One is just a drop of water. And that too, if not attended to for 3 years and kept clean, then again it's going to come back. So this is not going to solve the problem. But let's all come together, do our best, and stay committed to work on understanding what is our native species, what is in species that have come otherwise, and try to make that change. And one of it is like the tiger of the jungle, lantana is one of them. So let's all work towards it. That's my focus, and that's what I wanted to communicate to you all. If there is any questions on this, I'll be happy to take. There's a small video that we have created on how we have worked towards Lantana and how the department is supporting us to make this work. Thank you so much. I would like to end my talk with a note, and that note is that we have some of the senior officers here, but what we realized when we started working with them is the support and the encouragement that we get from them for doing the right things is immense. Like when we did our inauguration, we had Mr. Kumar Pushkar and Mr. Sriniwas, who has been supporting us and doing whatever their best they can do. And they like the way they spoke. They have a clear direction in the way that we had to go and be was really commendable. And I think on the other side, what we are doing is a small bit to the whole thing, but what the department is doing for us is thankless because they're working day and night. I feel that they are working like soldiers around us, but not spoken about. Thank you, sir, and thank you everyone for listening. So I think they had some questions, so we can take it together.
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Yes, yeah.
Question is not in there.
If you all have any questions, I will be happy to answer.
People are unaware about invasive species and the whole. So will they just go after Lantana when there's percentage building Flora? There are many others like the mat, which are part of invasive species which are being put everywhere and they have no control over them. So do we uh, do we do we get an awareness of other species as well?
Yeah, see, I think as we told you that our job was basically as a business, we run a wealth and risk advisory firm. We are a stockbrokers, right? So out of what we could understand, we are not scientists who could understand the various species shortlist and work on that. But out of I'm sure what you're asking is very true, and people have to be focused there. But in the whole process, we are also losing time. So when we wanted to identify and move ahead, we thought lantana canopy was something that has to be addressed, right? Likewise, I'm sure a lot of us understand many other species that are there and also talk about it so that that can be worked around. So the core of the whole concept is not to be focused on other species, but to take initiative on what can be done now and what is the changes that can be done now. It is very short term in nature, I do understand, but long term, like the way you said, we have to work on many other things around it and come to a conclusion and have a long term plan. But like us, if with whatever 100 hectares or 1,000 hectares that we plan, if a large corporates can take larger piece of land and work towards it and probably identify other species, that will be even better. Right? But right now, we have not done a scientific approach, but we are definitely helping the department to solve a bit of a problem, which is a very small problem of the whole thing. Sanna.
We are having that tree. So only it's a waste actually it will waste our that is it will waste our groundwater, it will just stuck and go away. But people started using as a firewood.
Correct.
So that kind of trees and all actually you won't need, but it is a because we heard that at British day at British time they got here for campfire kind of things. So what we can do for that because we have to display the use of having the trees. So we have to approve all these trees.
Ma'am, one more thing I like of the forest department is they say let it live, let's leave it to the nature to take a call on that. Yeah, I understand. But I'm sure if it is not a native, our nature will take over it. So that's one more thing that I like about it because they just don't do it for the sake of doing a transformative change, but they let it be. Like So they let it be, they let the forest take over things, which is another good part of the whole thing. So like my answer to you is, I think we have to let the environment, nature take over things, which is going to take time. They may dominate for some time, but eventually as they dominate, there will be other species which will take over them. So those things also will happen. So I think we have to wait for it to happen, or likewise, there may be a bit of more liberty on removing those trees, like how today silver oaks are removed without the permission of the or permits. Likewise, there could be some kind of a small tweaks and changes that they will allow. But I feel largely such things will let's leave the nature to take over. Here, even the nature is not able to take over, and they're more dominating. That's the only reason why we have to get involved.
The challenge is to scale up. If not.
Yes.
That is one thing. And the second thing, I think some institutions, they were earlier looking for herbicide. I don't know what is the status now, but few groups, they have been working on that, uproot it, use the herbicide so that it doesn't come next.
Come back.
So that is one thing. And then biological control also they have been trying, but that is more dangerous because I mean you never know that
It can have other impacts.
the impact another species can. But good thing, I feel that since you are doing it, it's a good initiative.
Thank you, sir.
Enormous. I mean, 7,000 hectares, almost 60-70% of Bandipur itself out of 7,000 hectares. That's why I mean there is no regeneration because it doesn't allow anything to come. So there is no regeneration, and the whole forest is almost stagnating. So let us hope that 500 hectares and others also will chip in and go on. All the best.
When we entered IAC, we saw this beautiful bamboo bush which was there, and we really felt good about it. And we were just talking that I think previously the forests were like this. And today it's very hard to see a large bamboo bush of that kind. When we even get into
Chikkamagaluru is having.
Bhadra is, I think.
Bhadra is having. Not other places in Chikkamagaluru there.
Yeah. But sir, my question to you is, don't you feel that at some point of time, there could be some balance within the environment that could happen, and that will really take over this species? There are chances. Like, for example, there's a heavy rain for 2 years, and everything, there could be probability that this could be taken over. Or I think drought, these are overruling drought. So I think even in drought, they're able to sustain. But because of heavy rain, it could go away. Or there could be some kind of a species which could eat off their seeds. And they're not able to.
Biological control. It is being thought of, but nothing has come out.
Yeah.
So, wishful thinking that heavy rains it will wipe out, but nothing has happened.
Or I think can we look at like to create canopy shades through somewhere around like I think today people are in Africa have started doing that seed bombing, where they load the plane with lakhs of seeds, which has a clay around it, and they just drop it after the rain. So there's some bamboo shoots can be dropped, and even out of that, even 10-20% of it is able to germinate, and they can take over the species.
We have done in Karnataka, Dobbrapur area. It hasn't come. Maybe 1%, less than 1% survival. So when the rain comes, it just take everything
to one.
Goes in the lowest point. So everything gets accumulated at one point. So doesn't really work.
Okay.
It's easy from outside. You can drop it. The soil at times which are open area, the soil is so hard, may not germinate.
Yeah.
And second thing is now in Bandipur and Nagarholi, you must have seen the department has been now last 4 or 5 years. They have been removing lantana And they're planting grass slips.
Yes.
If you would have noticed in that area, both the places, they are planting grass slips. Because what they think is that once it makes a carpet, this seed may not be able to percolate down and it may not be able to germinate. So they are trying to create a carpet of grasses so that lantana doesn't come. In Corbett, etc., also they had tried to cut lantana and put it upside down so that it doesn't regenerate. But it is a very shameless species. And one way or another, and you know that propagation can take place by air also. That's one point. So one case which is, I mean, it didn't exist at all. So it's quite a kind of a crusade which you do. And it takes over all these small cells. It doesn't allow the movement of animals because of its thorny character. Now they are, by making almost elephants, etc., they're actually trying to put it to some use. Trying to giving some work to tribals and some people so that it could be put to some use. Not to promote it, but to use something, some biomass which is already.
But ratio is too small is what.
We made some elephants and sent them to Assam, also for the airport.
They have one in Terminal 2 as well. Yeah, yeah.
It also in the this struggle has been going on for quite some time in most of the forests. Till now, they haven't found a very viable solution. As you said, that you can only 6 times a year and 4 times a year. Comes up a day, a lot of money is required for
Yeah.
the areas are inaccessible. Accessible to Lantana, inaccessible to us.
Are you putting the grass slips also?
Some places the department takes it up and put the grass slip, but we are not able to do it because the funds that we raise are predominantly focused on removing only.
So grass strip, as she told, the grass strip is one thing which, even if some, I mean, there will be competition with the grass and the lantana strips. So
Correct.
it suppresses. And that is how it has been done by the department.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, and that has improved the view lines also. And along the roadside, they have done that grass slips planting so the herbivores can come in. It's not required. So the herbivores can come and be there, and it's a better sighting also for the people that come.
Yeah.
So they have covered a lot of areas. Like that.
So one ask is like, if you just wanted to say one thing that people have to know that they have to do to understand or educate on lantana, what is that they have to do? I'm just talking about the audience here so that they can take back feeling that this.
You have to be consistent with this. Removing. There is no other way. Consistently, you have to remove for 3-4 years. That is how.
I think this is that they should buy those seedlings and promote as ornamentals. Maybe.
Well, that is not the really. That's not going to propagate it further. That's not nor stopping. We have to somehow take back our forest, which is infested by lantana, and that is the only way to approve. I wish that there is some, as you told, that there is some way, some research comes out by which some herbicide they come out or some biological control method, and that is how it can be. Otherwise, so it is. Otherwise, the only way out is this.
So eventually bamboos may also, if really bamboos come up aggressively, they'll not be able to do much there. They may.
When comes in.
Yeah. Because cycles of nature have eventually given a chance to everyone. So
Also in that. See, it has been protected. So once it protected, this has come like this.
correct, yeah.
See, they said to protect it, talking about the farmer.
Yeah.
Side also there are nice species. If there is no protection, we have been active in the forest.
Plenty.
That's what last time we had a discussion. So few years back, see, it's easier said than done. Few years back, few go and move on the forest areas, which is over to education and we exploit it. Because you can't do anything, you can't stop the people, it was an open resource. And once we changed to giving some French yes, carbon monoxide, yes, whatever. Most of the people stopped going to the forest area and the forest really rejuvenated. We have seen that in Karnataka. People believe that this is the same forest. But now you see, we have one more. And we are back to film. Just one more for 1 month. And all these countries are back to especially the commercial. You can't stop them. Where
Yes.
it's coming from? So ultimately, the forests being an open resource, they have this.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for patiently hearing. I'll hand it over to doctors. Thank you, sir.
I sincerely thank Sreekara for creating innovative ways, what we can do ourselves to safeguard our forest. Rajbir Singh moderating this one and giving certain comments, what we have to do, continuous process, keep doing it. They're just like shaving every day. We have to every year remove from the root. That's what it is. And on behalf of the Device and Climate Change, appreciating your talk and all this thing, we have a small token of appreciation. Please accept it, Professor Srinivasan, for handing it over to that one. And we all have pictures.